I have the difficult task to try to synthesize what you have said. So I'm not going to attempt to do a summary because you already heard everything, so I'm not going to explain the arguments really. So what I'm going to try to do is to do some highlights so that I hope I capture, what you are coming out of the room with, some of the memory. I think, I can say that in a way this is the time that this role for me has been the easiest. I have done this many times, and always it's been difficult to structure, some kind of order in all the conversations that have taken place. But today has been really easy for two reasons. One, I think the questions were very well posed, and secondly, we had a great facilitator who has helped me all the way through to be, really teasing out the issues that have been discussed. So thank you very much. In relation to whether we should have a water goal, which is one of the questions, I think there is a very strong claim that we need a water goal. Maybe it's not surprising because if we are all here, it's for a reason. I think we've been told that too, but we need a water goal, and we want to, all of us here, advocate for a water goal. So I think that's very clear. I think we had a very good presentation from Philippe Legal on Nestlé that gave us a very succinct summary of what we are looking for. So he mentioned that we need this water goal to build on existing target, but this should be strengthened and broadened. So we need broader and more work on them. And we have a proposal from here of having a standalone goal of ensuring water security, and a very clear message from Jason that the corporate case should be for this kind of goal. I think also earlier on we had a very good proposals both on WASH and on water resources management, and already giving us dates and measurable targets. So a lot of the work we needed to do had been proposed by Nestlé themselves. On WASH we heard that by 2025 we should aim at universal access, both for sanitation and water services. We heard that we should aim by 2020 to eradicate open defecations. That's for WASH. And for water resources management, and I like that very much because the goal that was proposed by Nestlé, because we've been all trying to find something that will help us look at the outcomes. There has been some discussions here whether we should look at processes, institutions, goals, but we also should be looking at outcomes. The nice thing about the WASH targets and indicators is that they are very much measurable, in terms of results, and we needed something like that. So the proposal here was freshwater withdrawals in balance by 2030, and there will be some other more instrumental goals like cost-effective and comprehensive approaches, like the one we have been hearing this morning in relation to inside defense actions, productivity of wastewater reuse. And then the second goal was adequate treatment of wastewater by 2030. I want to put this on the table because I think they were very clear, they were very clean, and so I wanted to bring it back to the final part. In relation to the WASH panel we had here today, there were some differences of opinion in my view. Some were advocating for a WASH standalone goal, so separate from water resources management, if you want. Very, very strong points about the need to align the post-2015 agenda on the rights-based approach. So very strong on that. Need to address the structural causes of poverty. Has not been enough focus on that. So on the WASP part, very, very clearly linked whatever we are doing with the human rights resolution. A plan for progressive realization, universal access. So I think Nestlé, did cover that as well. We also had a very, very strong emphasis on the need for a sanitation focus. It's nice to have that back because we are already doing this, but we need obviously to continue. So there was a very clear phrase that the need to privilege access to sanitation. So that we need to really focus on that. And not only that, we also should maybe think about that we need to be more specific about the fact that international aid is not well targeted and goes to middle-income countries, and in the middle-income countries goes into not the very poor. So we need to really, there is a lesson learned in terms of international aid, we need to be more focused on that. On WASH agenda, we need to include hygiene, education, and awareness, and some issues maybe at the indicator level, which are related to improved maintenance and safety and appropriate financing, and the need for integration with water resources management. So some people were saying, let's try to really link the WASH agenda to the water resources agenda. Allocation decisions need to prioritize access to drinking water, for example. So that was the way of linking both the agenda of the water resources management and the agenda of the WASH. In relation to the water resources management goal, that was very clear here, that, you know, as Cecilia has mentioned, the debate on water resources management is not so mature in terms of Sustainable Development Goals, targets and indicators. It was more diffuse, in my view, and also because the issue is more complex and is more challenges. It has many issues, as you could see in Jose Gesti's presentation this morning. Even our consultations are we have many sub-consultations. We have tried to deal with all of that in one table, so you have to mention that it was a difficult role we gave. So basically the highlights of what was said in relation to the water resources management goal is that maybe the easiest way to deal with all this complexity is to focus on institutional goals rather than outcome and results based goals. So we may need to create targets on institutions and management, development of legislations, development of institutions, etc. And so basically, at the end of the day, improved water resources management is improved governance and capacity development. So that was more or less what was coming out of here. But I think, having said that, I think there were other more specific issues raised, like the need to address over-extraction of water and efficiency, so improve water efficiency. So on the one hand, institutions, but on the other hand, there were some very clear messages of also focus on practices, specific practices. I think the very first statement that was made in relation to the water resources management goal was the need to work in partnerships, the need to work on processes and not only on outcomes. So I don't think we elaborated a lot more on that, so we may need to really, you know, tease out what really that means, but I think that was something that I want to put there. And again, from the Water Resources Management panel, we also had the need for linking with WASH, so water resources management as a precondition to really having, you know, water supply and sanitation services at local level. In terms of wastewater and water quality, what I found very interesting is that here we really were talking a lot about ecosystem services and ecosystem protection, which I didn't expect it. And so I think you made a very good summary of the three types of issues that need to cover. So protection and restoration of natural capital, pollution prevention and reduction of pollution, treatment and management of wastewater. So in terms of those three issues, it's relatively easier to find some specific targets which are measurable. So in that particular discussion, we went back to the outcome kind of targets and indicators. We were also talking about, some people here were raising issues of pricing, the important thing of incentives, the polluter pays principle, etc. So there were issues there here, and rainwater harvesting. They were talking. There were issues about the need to provide incentives. So there were also some discussions on technology issues were coming on the table, so what we in the United Nations jargon we call means of implementation, so they were coming back to this discussion again. That was for in relation to the water goals, that was the highlights I got. In relation to the role of the private sector, it seems very clear that they were like, on the one hand, you have to do your job in-house, what you call inside the fence, a very interesting concept, and also that you have to go beyond the fence as well. So you have to manage your corporate water impacts, improve use, and report on progress. So transparency is very important, and make water withdrawal sustainable and treat water used. So both in terms of also water resources management, what your contribution is to that. And beyond the fence, I think there were ideas about engaging with communities and go well beyond your supply chains and thinking about even the idea of contributing to improve water resources management as a business opportunity itself. And you were talking also about collaboration with governments and civil society. Okay, in terms of that's like the main highlights, but in terms of the role of business, I think for me, for the WASH, in the WASH panel, there was a very clear distinction about business as facilitators for water supply and sanitation, for basic services, and this was surprising because this didn't come at all in the panels in the morning. In the panels of the morning, it seems that the business community were much more concerned about, water liability, the existence of water resources, the impact of water pollution in their own practices. It didn't come at all, or at least not what I see, or with enough profile in relation to to their contribution to the WASH sector. And so I think that was a very clear message later on about the private sector as facilitator for WASH to reach the poor and to reach the excluding communities, perhaps because of the decentralized nature of the private sector. Also the private sector as an agent of change, so that was very important. And here there was a little bit of a discussion whether the private sector should in a way, harmonize the work behind government-led strategies to ensure that there was coordinated action. Some of the people here, they say, well, but the government a lot of times, or sometimes, is not there. So maybe the private sector should not wait for the government to have their act together, but should promote that the government has their act together. So that was, for me, something important. As an agent of change, I think they were also an important role in terms of demonstration. So I think a role model, I think somebody mentioned, and a catalyst of change as well. So creating partnerships and coalitions to ensure that governments have a sector strategy, for example. There were also some discussions about the instrumental role, more related to financing, providing capacity, providing technologies. So there is a big business opportunity also in the WASH sector for everybody. So that's something very clear. In relation to water resources management, what I have heard for the role of business basically is linked to the role of the business as a support of government, as also support of community-led initiatives. That was very clear. The corporate sector as enabler. So, and I think that was very clear, made by you. So, as a role model, demonstrating leadership, and there was also a discussion of the different role that you could have as big corporations and versus small companies that maybe need to be more followers than anything else. So here there was a discussion about that the business communities are very diverse and not everybody is the same, and I think that was later on picked up by Stefan, that they have a big business community that is really very small, that the big multinationals or the big corporations can do a lot, but we need to reach these others, and there is a role in the companies themselves to do so. Again, the issue of being instrumental came there, and the role of partnerships. In relation to the wastewater and water quality business roles, I found that the conversation there was much more rich in relation to the role of the business sector. So we have, again, direct actions that you can take on that. So improve your sustainable production inside the fence, engage others. That was also very important. And here I think what happens, what was very clear is the idea of knowledge, the importance of knowledge that corporations have, and you can pass on to others. And I think, in fact, I think more or less that's all covered. For the response panel, I think hopefully the message to you is clear that we are in an important moment, that what you are doing here and what you have discussed and what the information you have given us is important, that is all part of a process, that we are trying to put all these ideas together and try to make sure that your contributions, filter into the top, if they are clear enough and they are good enough. And I just would like to emphasize something that was said here. Apart from the idea of the goal of water security, that it was clear, I think something that it was added up in the last panel was that the idea is that business corporates may need to think about participatory structures and approaches as very important, as a way in to really influence governments to make sure that those type of structures are there, and that it is in their interest that participatory approaches in water management are really scaled up at the watershed level, as you mentioned, indeed. And corporate social responsibility is not enough. And we need to support others who are small And there are low-hanging fruits, as you say, Stefan. With small improvements, you can do a lot of change, and that's where probably a lot of the work needs to be done. Thank you very much.